So the Nintendo Switch 2 is seeming like it's going to be a very expensive console, and we are starting to hear about the launch lineup for the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's get into it. So we know that the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation is coming up in just a couple of weeks now. It's going to be taking place in April. But today we've got some rumours from some industry analysts that have been, analysing the industry, and today they've been talking about the Switch 2. They've actually been talking about the Nintendo Switch 2's launch lineup, as well as prices, so yeah, it's a very interesting time to be a Nintendo fan. Now, this comes from nintendosoup.com, and I believe their original source was from Bloomberg, but they've taken a quote from that article, and they've said, the industry analyst Serkan Toto, I believe that's how you say that, I might be saying that wrong, apologies if I am, but they've said they will sell boatloads of Switch 2 in the first months in particular. Almost regardless of price, we could expect to see a great software lineup in year one. From a new Mario Kart and 3D Mario after 8 years, to Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. There will also be third-party support from day one, most probably including blockbusters like Call of Duty. They also went on to say that the original Switch, the chip inside that, usually cost around $80 per unit. The new chip inside the Switch 2, because it's more powerful, will be $130 to $150 in range, so they wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 costs as much as $499. Of course, huge shout out to Nintendo Soup for providing that information there. But yeah, let's get into it. So, the Switch 2, we're starting to hear about the launch lineup. Now, industry analysts are talking about the Switch 2 having a new Mario Kart and a new 3D Mario, all within that first year. Now, that would be absolutely insane, but a great way to start a Nintendo system. It would be pretty much unheard of for us to get a 3D Mario and a Mario Kart within the same year, and obviously that is going to sell a lot of units. Of course, we already have other games confirmed as well, the Metroid Prime 4, the Legends ZA. Yeah, they're going to sell units if they look better on the Switch 2, but, if they're just regular Switch games, that might not sell some units. What is interesting to see here, though, is third parties being mentioned. I love to see third parties being mentioned. Of course, Nintendo systems sell well because of their first party games. People buy Switches and, Wii U's or 3DS's. They bought those consoles for the Nintendo games. You buy a Nintendo console for the Nintendo games, but Nintendo consoles always do better when there's amazing third-party support too. Of course, at first, with the launch of the Switch 1, there wasn't that great of a third-party support, but now that with the Switch 2, obviously with the Switch 1 doing so well, we could expect to see amazing third-party support with the Switch 2. Of course, nothing's been announced yet, but it's exciting to hear that industry analysts are saying we should expect good third-party support. I believe we would have seen amazing third-party support on the Switch 1, but the only thing holding the Switch 1 back was that power. The Switch 1 is just a, PS3 or an Xbox 360 or a Wii U. It's that generation. And, of course, that generation goes back nearly 20 years now, so it's quite old technology. Not a lot of games could actually run on the Switch 1, but now with the Switch 2, it's going to be a lot more powerful. Now, what's interesting to hear is the Call of Duty franchise being mentioned here. We've never seen that come to the Switch, obviously because of hardware and, the Switch not being able to run it. Of course, we might be able to see that with Switch 2. There was also, when Activision was bought out by Microsoft, there was also talks about them having to bring over Call of Duty also to other consoles such as the Switch, so it makes sense that we should be seeing Call of Duty at some point on the Nintendo Switch 2. I feel like the only reason we haven't seen Call of Duty yet is because, it takes a lot of power to run those games, and the Switch 1 doesn't have that. Now, in terms of pricing, I feel like $499 might be a little bit too much. I mean, you can get a PS5 for that price, you can get an Xbox for that price, and it's not going to be as powerful as those machines, so maybe people might be put off by the fact it is $499. At the same time, it's $499 for a console you can play on the TV and also on the go, and it has Nintendo exclusives, so that might be worth it. Of course, I'm a massive Nintendo fan. I always talk about Nintendo. Nintendo is my favourite company to play games on, you know, it's my favourite kind of system, of course I'm going to pay $4.99. To more casual fans, you know, that might be a little bit too expensive. The Switch 1 has always stayed at a pretty competitive price of $300. So yeah, I mean, that is a completely fine standpoint. I feel like personally I would love for the Switch 2 to be $3.99 or maybe $3.49. I feel like that's a good price, that's competitive, that stands out. That's also not too cheap, it's not too expensive, so I feel like they should do that. It should be $3.99 at the very max, but I can see them charging $4.99 for this thing. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, of course, lots of rumours are going around now. Lots of different places are talking about the Switch 2, and that's because we're going to have a Direct in just a couple of weeks. Lots of our answers will all be answered in just a couple of weeks, so, you know, we haven't got a lot of time left to wait. If you're a Nintendo fan, you know, wanting to find out new information about the Switch 2, we haven't got long to wait. A Direct is coming up in April. Now, I want to make a separate video talking about my predictions for the Switch 2, so I'm going to do that, but I feel like in this, you know, Direct we see in April, I feel like we'll hear about a release date, we'll hear about the price, we'll hear about some of the launch lineup. Lots of the news will be revealed to us in this Direct. Of course, we'll hear little things here and there. You know, I don't feel like we'll hear everything we need to know about the Switch 2. They'll leave us with some questions, but I feel like lots of our questions that we have at the minute will be answered. The part of this leak from this, you know, this industry insider that I find the most interesting is that 3D Mario. You know, we already know about Mario Kart 9, we've already seen that in the trailer, so, you know, we're already talking about a new 3D Mario. Now, of course, Nintendo has had Mario Odyssey in the first year of a Nintendo console with the Switch, so could we actually see a new Mario Kart as well as a new 3D Mario? Is that not too much Mario? I would be amazed if we see that. I love Mario Kart, I love 3D Mario. I'm actually more excited for a 3D Mario, but, you know, maybe that is a little bit too much to have just in 1 year. Now, I mean, third parties would also be great to see, and of course, Call of Duty would be a great game to have at launch, but I would rather, you know, just see lots of variety of third parties. I wonder what else, you know, we're going to see at launch. I wonder what kind of games are going to be available day one, third party and first party, and I suppose we'll just see that in the Switch 2 Direct in April. So, to summarise this video, we're starting to hear rumours about a 3D Mario going to be shown in this April Direct, as well as a new Mario Kart, and some third-party games also being shown off as well, like Call of Duty. So Activision are probably going to have some kind of presence in that April Direct next month. Now, we're also hearing about the price of the Switch 2, which is going to be as high as $500, which is a little bit high in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see for this Direct next month. So let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. What third-party games do you think we'll see in the launch lineup for the Switch 2? Do you feel like we'll see a 3D Mario and a Mario Kart all in the same year? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching, everyone.